When you're going to hold your pentel or any other pointed brush, there's really not much to it. Just hold it as you would normally hold a regular pencil, or a ballpoint pen, or your everyday turkey quill. You hold your brush exactly the same way. The main difference is that the direction in which the pointed brush makes its thick, thin strokes is the exact opposite to which the broad edge pen makes them. Let's look closer. In holding your broad edge pen like this, typically about a 45-degree pen angle, you would expect to get a broad edge stroke coming this way. And then, when you went this way, you'd get your thin stroke, like that. So that's typically what you can expect to see with a broad edge pen. Let's see what the pointed brush does now. In contrast, with a pointed brush, you're going to get exactly the opposite weights going in the same direction. That is, if I draw my brush in this direction, that's going to give me the thinnest thin that I can possibly get, in contrast to how thick the broad edge pen had been coming in the same direction. And then, in contrast to how thin the stroke was with the broad edge pen coming this way, with a pointed brush, depending on how much pressure I lay into it, it's going to be the thickest stroke possible coming this way. So when it comes to the structure of letter forms, the thicks and thins will be pointing in exactly the opposite directions of what the broad edge pen would have done. You'll see that in just a moment. Another instance where you're going to need to have extreme contrast of thick thins is when you're doing some other variations, not just a basic one. With a pointed brush like this, we'll do some pressurized lettering here, where we've gone thick, thin, thick. The brush is great to facilitate that expressiveness. I'm going to do that quarter turn to get a thin stroke, and I'll come up on the tip of it, then a quarter turn to come back down to give it a thicker stroke. I'll come over here and do a flourish, and at the bottom, a little hoop-de-doo. Then pressure, release, pressure, quarter turn to get the thin. Up you go. Quarter turn, get the thick. And in this particular style, more than anything, we're trying to get an accent on the pressurizing and the contrast. Much more so than we did with the basic forms. On the verticals, it's pressure, release, pressure. Basically the same stroke sequence you did with the basic strokes, but a lot of quarter turns so as to accentuate greater thicks and greater thins. I'm going to do a little something different with this Z right here. You'll see what it is. Getting that thin quarter turn each time. And pressure, release, pressure on the D, thin. And then a big flourish at the end. Pressurized. Different variation. Come back and let's add a little bouquet at the beginning right here. And we're done.